Hello guys, so let's create an EC2 instance. So yeah, you log into the AWS console and then you navigate to the EC2 instance dashboard. So here you click on EC2 instance and go into it. Okay, so once you have this interface, it means you are in the EC2 instance dashboard. So just click on the launch instance. So when you click on launch instance, you get to fill in the details of your instance or the instance that you want to create, right? So in this instance we are going to name it say project 3-ec2, right? So this is going to be the name of the instance, and we will proceed for the purposes of the tutorials that we are going to use. We are just going to stick to the basics. So we are launching the instance on Amazon Linux 2023, and we would also make sure we choose T2 micro. That's the instant type, right? It's free tier. So we proceed to create a key pair. So with creation of key pair, you click on create new pair and then you give it a name, right? So you can do third, let's say third project. So third project is going to be the name of our key pair. Make sure you choose RSA and also make sure you choose .pem. So we are choosing .pem in order to allow us to connect to the EC2 instance via OpenSSH, right? So using tools like Termius and then other tools, right? Alternatively, you can choose .ppk, and when you choose ppk, it means that you want to connect to the instance using PuTTY, right? So these are the two different means, but then let's use the .pem, the PEM key, because after that I'll be teaching you how to connect to your EC2 instance via SSH using Termius, right? So let's get into it. So you do that and then you click on create key pair. So it would download, okay, you are not seeing, but it would automatically download the key pair into your download folder or whichever folder you have set on your machine to download files into, right? So once that is done, you can see that we have third project here. Once that is done, just go down. So here, this is network, it's very critical stage. For here, we are not going to do much. We are not going to create our own VPC and all that. We are going to use or stick to the default. But what we're doing here is we create a security group which will serve as a firewall in order to prevent unauthorized users to have access to our EC2 instance. But in this situation, we are going to click on create security group, and then we also allow SSH traffic from anywhere, right? So in this situation, it means that we can use our the IP address of our EC2 instance and that of the key pair that we have used. We have created. We can use both of them to connect to the EC2 instance, right? Using the open SSH platforms like Termos or the others, right? So we can do that. Um, so I think that is done. So just leave the rest on default, and you can proceed to launch an instance, right? So the instance will create. Um, yes. So once your instance is created, you can see it. You can see it when you open your EC2 dashboard. You can go to instances and then see your instances, right? And you realize that the instance that we just created would be part of the list, or would be the only one there. That is if it's the only EC2 we are creating in that region, right? So it's loading, it's loading, it's loading. Okay, so you can see the name, you can see the instance here, you can see project 3 EC2, you can see the instance ID, you can see all other information that you know pertains to the EC2 that we created, including the third, that's the third project, that's the key pair. So here you can just click on this, check it, and then you see the details of the EC2 that you've created or the server. So you can see here the public IP address, you can see the private IP address. So if you are going to connect to this EC2 instance, via OpenSSH, you are going to need this public IP address, right? And that of the that of the key pair that we created whilst we were creating the EC2, the key pair that we created, that is the third project. We name it third project. So we are going to use both of them to connect to the EC2 instance in order for us to create files into it and then do all sort of stuff, right? So let me quickly show you how to connect to an EC2 instance using your IP address, that's your public IP address, and then the key pair that is associated with the EC2 instance, right? So let's quickly dive into that as well. So here what we are going to need is we are going to need the public IP address, so copy it somewhere. So let's say I have copied it somewhere. So as I've copied it somewhere, I can also make sure that the folder that I have downloaded the key pair into, I'm familiar with the folder. So in that situation, when I go inside the Termius to try to connect to the EC2, I'll be able to select the key pair from there, right? So just copy the IP address and paste it somewhere, and then we start with the connection from Termius, right? So let's get into that as well. Yeah, we are going to continue with the project. As you can see the processes, first of all, as you are done launching the EC2 instance and also using the IP address, the public IP address and that of the key pair to connect to the EC2 instance via SSH, what we are now going to do is we are going to create a file into the onto the EC2 instance, right? So we create a file onto the EC2 instance, and after which we would take, or we would create an image of the EC2 instance as a backup method, right? So once we backup, or once we create an image of the EC2 instance, it means that we have backup, or we have created a copy of that EC2 instance that we can restore onto another EC2 instance, right? So we would do that as well, and after which we would create a new EC2 instance and restore the image on it, right, as a backup and recovery skill, or as a backup and recovery strategy, right? Because you want to make sure you take the images of your EC2 instance to enable you automatically launch other instances that have the same quality, the same settings, the same everything, plus um the 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 files that you have saved on the previous EC2 instance would be transferred, or would be a copy of it or a duplicate of it would be on the new EC2 instance that you are going to copy. So you don't have to kind of download it and upload it somewhere or something. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, so after we have done that, we would then SSH into the new EC2 instance as well, and see if indeed the file that we created into the old EC2 instance, it is actually on the new EC2 instance. If it is on it, then it means that successfully we've been able to back up and recover, right, the EC2 instance. So we would continue to work on that. So first of all, as you can see from here, you have the Termius, right? So first of all, you open your Termius. We've already gone through connecting your connecting to your EC2 instance, right? We've already done that. So how to connect to your EC2 instance via OpenSSH, and we are, for our OpenSSH, we are using a platform called Termius, right? You can use Putty as well. You can use other, you can even use CMD, you can use other platforms, but we are using Termius, and we are using that for easy, the usability, it's the UI UX is quite appealing, right? Because it's designed and stuff. You can do settings and change how it looks and all that, which is very easy and very catchy. That's why I'm using that. But as you can see, we've already created our host, which is a project 3 EC2 SSH, and you can see from there we have our IP address here. Our public IP address is here. This one doesn't matter, you can change it to anything that you want. Again, your username should be EC2 user, and then your pin here, the pin password, you have to use key, which is the key of your EC2 instance. And in our situation, the key is third project.pem, and I've already shown you how to upload the key. You go to settings, and once you go to settings, go to keychains, and when you go to keychains, you upload it there, right? Or you open the third you open the key pair itself and copy the private keys inside, and then come and paste it there. Either way, it will work. So that's it. We've already done that, so let's just go and launch it and proceed. Okay, so we are launching. Okay, good. So now we are here, and as you can see, this is the working directory of our EC2 instance, right? So take EC2 instance as a virtual machine, right? Just like you have a computer, that you have the physical hardware with you, everything that is on it, you can easily access it. Go inside and check, go to your files, go to my computer, go to downloads, go to my pictures, go to drive D, drive C, whatever. You can see whatever you have inside. But with Linux, it doesn't work that way. You have to use commands to see whatever is inside the directory, or is stored inside the EC2 or the virtual machine. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to use the ls command to find out if there is anything, inside the EC2 server or instance. So here you see ls, you realize that there is nothing inside, right? So what we are going to do is that, I have created, the tutorials, and I will be using exact that particular thing what I wrote. I'll be using that to create this so that you can actually follow and redo or create it your own, right? Okay, ls nothing showed, so it means that there is nothing in our directory, right? So we can use the touch command to create, right, to create a file inside the directory, right? So let's quickly do that. Touch couch, right? So touch, you then write the name of the file that you want to create. So let's say we want to create project 3 dots. Should we create a Word document, or okay, let's create a text file .txt, project 3.txt. Fine. So we have created a file with the name project 3.txt. That's a text file. You could have created a PDF file, you could have created a document file, you could have created an Excel sheet file, you could have created PNG, a lot of files that we could have created, HTML file and what have you. But we created a .txt file, which is a text file. So now let's check the ls again. When we ls, we want to see things that are inside our directory, all of it will. So ls again, you can see now we have project 3.txt, meaning in our directory we have project 3.txt inside, right? It used to be nothing, but now there is project 3.txt inside. So project 3.txt, there is nothing inside as well, because take it as a file. You have like a document, a Word document. You could have a Word document named project 3, but the inside the Word document there would be nothing, right? So here we want to write something inside the document, right? If it were to be a window machine, you just open the Word document and then automatically it will open with Microsoft Word app, where you can go inside and put in whatever you want to put, whether a letter, a cover letter, whatever you want to put inside, you can put it inside. But in this situation, you don't have that that graphic user interface where we can have access to all these nice folders and stuff. So you have to do everything via command, right? So you want to write something inside the project 3.txt, and I prefer to use the nano command, right? So you use the nano and then the project name, which is project 3.txt, nano.project3.txt. See, that 3 did not come, so project 3.txt. So we get this interface to allow us to write something inside, right? So we can write anything inside, but in order not to waste time, let me copy and paste something inside. So I want to write something like hello, welcome to my third cloud project. So let's write something like this inside. So I've pasted hello, welcome to my third cloud project, and thanks for watching this YouTube video. So I wrote this, the YouTube is not even correct, but that's okay. So once you are in, whatever you have written here, it could have been anything. It could have been HTML code, which one way or the other would you try to use the instance to execute that particular code. But in this situation, it's just a test file. We are just writing something in it for tutorial. So Control X, and then you get to either save or not save the file. So now you want to save the file, so you click on Y, and then you click on enter. So now you have saved it. So inside the project 3.txt, we have written some stuff inside. How do we know that whatever we wrote is actually inside it? We can use the command, the cat command. So cat project 3.txt. So this will display whatever is inside that particular file for us to see. So you can see, hello, welcome to my tech cloud project. Thanks for watching this YouTube video. You see, so it's very simple as that. Alternatively, I mean, this is an addition. Alternatively, if you want to create a file, like you want to just use one command to create a file, you can still do that, right? You can just use the echo, like you can if you want to write something inside a file, you can use echo hello, so it could have been like echo and then apostrophe, like, and then you just use hello, welcome to my third cloud project, blah blah blah, and then you echo it inside the file that you want to echo it inside. But then I prefer to use this. I think this is very easy and this is very straightforward as well, step by step. So once we have done that, we can then proceed. So what this one means is that we have been able to upload, or we have been able to write a file to the EC2 server, which is the server name is project 3 EC2, meaning we have a file that is project 3.txt. we have that file on the EC2 instance, right? So what it means is that if you are going to create an image, right, of the EC2 instance right now, the EC2 instance, it means that we have backed up this particular file, and then the content that is inside, we have backed it up, right? So let's do that. We can use that, we can do that using the code, or we can do that through the console. Okay, so this is how to create an AMI. If you want to create an AMI, you simply come to your dashboard, you log into your AWS console, you click on EC2. So when you go inside the EC2, you can then create the AMI from there, right? So you just go to your console. So here, this is my instances. So this is a particular instance that we have, project 3 EC2. So you can just click on that, right, and see, you can go to actions, and you can see images and templates. So images and templates, you click that. Once you click that, you see something like create image, right? So you click on create image. So once you click on create image, you would see that a form will come for you to fill. So what name should we give to our image? We should use something like let's say project 3 image. So project 3 image, right? And you can say this is AMI of project 3 EC2, right? So we have kind of described it. Assuming you have a lot of images, you need to put description so that you can actually distinguish between them, right? So if that is okay, you just put no blue, whatever, just these ones are okay. I mean, default, you can just leave it as such. So you can then create an image, right? So create an image, boom. So the image is currently being created, right? So we can see that from here. Go to your AMIs, you can see from here, we are supposed to have 2 AMIs here because I already had one in my account. So that is that. You can see here. Now there are 2 images. The one we created is a project 3 image. So this is the image that we have created. The status is pending. It means that it's still being created, right? So you can wait for it to finish, for it to be available, and then you are good to go. Okay, so it's being created still, but here's another thing. Okay, let me start over my connection. Okay, so we have this interface. You can see that the system rebooted, and then now we have this. And see, let's go check if our EC2 instance has created, if our okay, so project 3 image, the image has been created, as you can see here. Project 3 image, the image has been created. So now that our image has been created, we need to create a new EC2 instance based on the image that we have created. Right? We want to prove a point here. We want to prove a point that whatever we SSH into the previous EC2 instance, if we back it up by creating the image, we can restore that particular backup on the new EC2 instance, right? So this is the backup and restore strategy. So we can go inside our instances. We can go inside our AMIs. So here is our AMIs. So this is the particular AMI that we want to use, project 3 image. So you see from here, launch instance from AMI. So you click that, as easy as that, and you can say what name should we use, 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 what name should we use. Okay, let's use a name similar to the main instance so that we can easily make reference to it, right? So let's use a name like project 3. Let's use a name like project 3I, right? So project 3I EC2 or project 3B, so let's use project 3I EC2. So that's the name of the instance that we are going to launch. You can see from here the AMI, the image is Amazon machine image project 3 image, right? So we are launching the instance from this image, right? We are just going to leave everything as default because you see from here, this one allows SSH from traffic. So basically you can create a new one, or you can choose the existing security group, because the previous EC2 that you created, is probably the same as this one. So you can choose the same security group, or you can change it, right? So if you say you are going to select an existing one, there are a lot of them. I have a lot of SG, I have a lot of them. Right? So I wouldn't want to use a new one. I wouldn't want to use an existing one. I would use a new one. But with the new one that I'm going to use, I'm still going to allow SSH traffic from anywhere. So it's the same thing. So now we can launch our instance. So here you can launch the instance. Oh, so sorry. So the key pair, as I was saying, the key pair has to be the same key pair, right? So you can just choose, you can create any one or use the same key pair, because I don't want us to do a new SSH, right? Like create a whole new SSH thing. So let's use the same key pair, so that we just need our IP address in order to connect to the new instance, right? In order, like, instead of us to change the IP address and also change the key pair, we can stick to one key pair and go ahead with it. I'm not using the existing security group because I'm not sure the security group that is associated with the instance that we SSH the file into, right? So we can just create a new one to be on the safer side, right? So that is that project 3I EC2. So we can launch our instance from here, and that is done. Okay, so we have launched our new EC2 instance. As you can see from here, the new EC2 instance, what we are going to need now is the IP address of the new EC2 instance, since the key pair already exists. You see, now you can see we have project 3 EC2, we have project 3I EC2. So the 3I is the new EC2 instance that we've created. So as you can see, this is the public IP address. This is the public IP address of the EC2, the new EC2 instance. So we are going to use that, right, to connect to this EC2 instance and check if the contents that we have in the project 3 EC2 has been restored or has been transferred to the project 3I EC2, right? So let's wait for our listing to be fully available, initializing and everything. So here we can exit this particular EC2 because we are no more using it. But then we can cross check again, ls. So ls, we have project 3.txt inside the old EC2, and we can see cat project 3.txt. So cat.project 3.txt, and then we see the content inside. So there's the content inside the project 3. So we can even create additional file on this EC2 instance, right? But that additional file that we are going to create right now, it's not going to be on the new EC2 instance, because the image was taken before the file was sent into it, right? So it means that the backup was done before this file went into the directory. So we can give it a try. We can say let's say touch p3.pdf. So this is the file that we are going to create. So touch p3.pdf. So we have added additional file into the EC2 instance, the old EC2 instance. So we can do ls, and you can see now we have pdf, p3.pdf, and then project 3.txt. So there are two. But what we are going to expect in the new EC2 instance is that when we ls, or when you go inside its directory, we are supposed to see just project 3.txt, because when the backup was taken, there was only project 3.txt on that EC2 instance, right? So we can exit. So now we have logged out, but we are going to log in to the new EC2 instance. So this is the new EC2 instance, project 3I, right? So project 3I, this is the IP address 54.17.17. So this is the IP address, it has been copied. So we can go here and change the IP address right? So we delete this IP address and then change it. So we have changed the IP address. We can also say project 3i EC2 SSH connect, right? So this is no more the previous EC2 instance. This is the current EC2 instance, right? And we are expecting to have only one file in the directory. So here we can connect to it. Add. Voila, we've been able to connect because we use the same key pair to create the EC2 instance. So we didn't have to, upload a new key pair and all that, right? So here we can try to see what is inside the EC2 instance. You can do ls, and voila, you can see there is project3.txt inside, right? And this means that whatever we put inside the EC2 instance before we created the image or we did the backup, it was successfully done, and it had actually been restored on the new EC2 instance that we created. So let's check inside the project 3 and see what is inside project3.txt, and here, oh sorry, project is supposed to be project 3, so project 3.txt. So this is inside the project 3. We have hello, welcome to my Cloud project transfer. So this is inside the project 3. This is inside the project 3. So it means that whatever we wrote, anything that we stored inside our old EC2 instance and took an image of it, has been successfully restored onto the new EC2 instance, which is the project 3i, right? So you can see the clear difference. So what this means is that it means we have successfully created an EC2 instance, written a file into it, took an image of the EC2 instance or did a backup of it, and we were able to restore that backup onto a new EC2 instance, right? So think about it, assuming the computer that we are using at home, whatever you have in that computer, you were able to back it up on another drive, right? And should the computer be gone, or should the computer be destroyed, since you back up everything on a drive, you can actually use that drive to install a new Windows. And when you install a new Windows or you install a new operating system, what it means is that you'll be able to have access to all the files that you backed up on the drive, right, on the new machine, right? So even though this is a new machine, you can see that there is a change in the IP address and there is a change in the name of the EC2 instance, but the files are still on it, right? So that's a practical scenario. So it could have been anything. It could have been an HTML file, or it could have been other application that is running on the EC2 instance, and it has automatically recovered. This is helpful in the situation of disaster recovery, right? So that is that, and thank you very much for walking through this process with me. I hope to see you some other time. So we can exit, and boom, we are done. So you can go inside the EC2 instance, and then we can delete all of them.